Hello and welcome to the Crochet Cakes YouTube channel. In today's podcast episode, we are going to be talking about a very special pattern reveal. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Crochet Cakes podcast. My name is Clarissabeth and this is episode 100, which feels like a huge milestone, and I'm very excited that we made it to 100 episodes, but more importantly, I am super excited that it's episode 100 and I'm filming it on the day before my birthday and it will go live on the day of my birthday. So I'm recording this on the 11th of March and my birthday is on the 12th of March for those of you who are not familiar with me or if I've never mentioned that before. But yes, welcome. It's lovely to have you back here today. As I mentioned, I'm just going to kind of veer off from showing off my past makes or my crochet wardrobe, and I'm instead going to show you a make that I am very, very excited to be able to actually share with you. No, it's not what I'm wearing. I am actually not wearing it because I want it to be pristine for tomorrow, and I had a photo shoot this week and I actually made the mistake, well, not the mistake of wearing it because it's a photo shoot, you have to wear it, but I wore it and I didn't want to take it off. I had a very hard time taking it off, actually. It was so comfortable. But before we get into all of that, I have to ask, how are you? Are you guys doing okay? Have you had a rough week? I'm not gonna lie, I've been better. It's been one of those weeks where you're questioning every single choice you've made in life, and are you regretting it, or are you not regretting it? And I've also been sick. I had a bit of a sinus infection, which, you know, it was taken care of. What hurt, I guess, the most was that my grandfather passed away on Friday, the 6th of March, and yeah, I couldn't make it down to the funeral because of COVID. They are only, showing the body in the funeral home for a couple of hours and then they bury him that same day. So I would have been able to make it home if I didn't have the sinus infection, but because I had the sinus infection, I didn't want to risk traveling and hurting my ears or anything like that. So I stayed here. I am sad, but I'm also not, because I know he was suffering so much at the end that it was better for him, honestly, to just be able to have peace and talk and see and all the things that he wasn't able to do at the end. So so it's been a bit of a hard week, and it kind of spiraled, as I said, into one of those weeks where you're questioning everything from your life and you are realizing that maybe you're not where you wanted to be, or worse, in my case, I don't know where I want to be. I really don't. I know I want to be here cultivating the community with you guys and sharing our love of crochet and our love of human beings in general. I know that's what I want to be doing. So that's why I sat down to record this podcast today. I honestly wasn't going to, but then I thought, I said I would, and it's episode 100. It's a very special episode, and I've been wanting to share this make with you guys for a while. And more importantly, I also want to remember why I started podcasting in the first place, and that is because I wanted to belong. I wanted to be part of a community, and I wanted to express my gratitude to the community by contributing in some way. So that was a bit heavy. So yeah, let's move on to a finished object that, as I've mentioned 1,000 times, I'm very happy to be sharing with you, and I'll also insert some pictures that I took of said finished item because I love it. Love it. And what it is, it's the Eat Cake sweater, or the Eat Cake crochet sweater. And I've shared snippets of my process of making this sweater with you guys. I've shared that it's a yarn collaboration with We Crochet Official, and they provided yarn support. They provided what I asked for, which was 400 grams of yarn, because that's what I thought I was going to use. Well, I actually ended up using 310 grams of yarn, which is very odd, but I have written it as such in the pattern. And of course, since it's such an odd number, I would honestly just use those 10 grams to maybe do the neckband and the bottom rib. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I haven't even showed you the sweater. So I'm inserting a picture here. Isn't it just amazing? Oh my God, I love this sweater. I love the fit, I love the yarn. So I'm holding it up now so you guys can see. And hopefully you can see, this is a sweater. In case that wasn't obvious, Clarissa. Yes, this is a sweater, and it is made using fingering weight yarn in a 4mm crochet hook. All the details, of course, you will find in the pattern, which will be available today for you guys, tomorrow for me, because this will go live on the 12th of March. So the pattern is, I think, very easy to follow, I hope. And it is designed in modular crochet, and if you purchase the PDF version of the pattern, it includes a little demonstration of what modular crochet is and how we kind of go about building the pieces to make the garment. This sweater can be fully customizable, because if you want it a longer length, you just have to chain more. If you want it wider, you just have to work more rows. So I was really excited to work with a pattern that could be more of a recipe for people that are more used to, you know, how do you say that? Tinkering with patterns to get a fit for their body. Now, I actually didn't tinker with this sample. So usually when I make a sweater or dress, I will tinker and make sure it fits me, and it's very, very dark in here. No, that made it worse. Okay, there we go. Yes, so I usually tinker with it, but I didn't. I made a size small. That's what I'm wearing in the pictures. And the size small was designed for a 33-inch bust, which is what I am. But once you stretch it, it actually stretches up to a 38-inch bust. So it's got a lot of positive ease, which makes it even better in my opinion, because if you are a person that likes a more fitted garment, then you could actually make the size small, and once you block it, it'll fit you if you are 37-inch bust, which is a medium, I think. Okay, so I'm holding up the sweater once again because I just want you guys to see the texture of it, so I'm holding it really close to the camera. We are using single crochet stitches in the back loop only, and we're also using the squished single crochet stitch. And I have called this the Eat Cake sweater because the ridges for the single crochet back loop only reminded me of the layers in the cake, and then the squished single crochet just really reminded me of some very well piped flowers. So yes, it's all about crochet cakes here. And the yarn that I've used is the Panettone colorway. It's Hawthorne fingering, hand dyed speckled, I think. They have a lot of different variations of Hawthorne fingering, but this is the speckled version. And it's Panettone, which is in a, I would say, light yellow, very light yellow, kind of cream base. And it's got speckles of orange, yellow, teal. Yeah, orange, yellow, and teal, which I think this light speckling just really, really brings it to life. I did not alternate skeins while I was crocheting this pattern. And the last skein had more speckles than the first few. So here, this is the sleeve. That's where I had to start. One of the last parts of the skein was on the sleeve. So you can see this is the same. Yeah, I think I only used the third from here to the bottom. So yeah, it's pretty much, it's a little bit different, but I don't mind. I actually like that. And the yarn itself, it's beautiful. It bloomed beautifully and it softened a lot. It is Highland wool, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just, I could not recommend this yarn enough. This was my first time working with this yarn. And I'm not saying I would recommend it because of the yarn support. I just truly loved this yarn. And the way it worked with the 4mm hook and the way it worked with the stitches. I am truly in love with this project. The sleeves, I tried to make them bracelet length sleeves because you have to take into account that the way you work the pattern, you're going to have a dropped shoulder. So that will be about 1.5 to 2 inches of dropped shoulder. And I like bracelet length sleeves because I can wash dishes. I honestly don't like it when I feel that I have to change my sweater just so I can wash dishes. So I am very excited to present this to you. And just so you know, the ends are completely woven in, and I am very, very excited to wear the Eat Cake sweater. And I am even more excited to announce that I will be hosting or co-hosting I will be collaborating with May Sonder, who designed the logo for the Crochet Cakes channel. She's a graphic designer, and she asked if I would do a cowl, please, and that she'd be interested in collaborating on said cowl. So I agreed. I thought it was brilliant, and I will be opening a Ravelry thread today, so it will be available when this podcast makes it out to you. The Ravelry thread will be open, and for those of you that do not use Ravelry, panic not. There will be a hashtag, and it's the Eat Cake Cowl. Hashtag Eat Cake Cowl, C-A-L. And I hope you join us. The pattern will be available for free on the blog, or you can purchase the PDF version to include the little demo and extra pictures of how I explain things and things like that. And just because I am very, very excited, if you are subscribed to, yes. So if you're subscribed to my newsletter, you will be receiving an email with a little discount code that you can apply to the pattern. So if you are unable to purchase it for whatever reason, you can take advantage of this discount code. And I'm also going to be posting it on the Ravelry thread because it's my birthday and I want to be able to celebrate with you guys. And what better way to celebrate than to eat cake? So I hope you join us for the Eat Cake Cowl, and I'm very excited. The thread, I will just have one thread open. I think that would be fun because that way you don't feel forced to, I have to finish it. So these, just to give you an idea, with 300 grams of yarn, you could make the size extra small and small. If you have 400, you will be able to make the small, medium, and large, I believe. I would definitely just, I don't even remember how much yarn I calculated, but I think that the way this pattern is constructed, you could definitely do like the front and the back in a solid color and then switch the color for the sleeves. I think that would look great. Or in the case of the small that uses 310 grams of yarn, just use those 10 grams to make the neckline and to make the bottom of both sleeves, and I think that would be great as well. I didn't do that because I had those 400 grams to play with, so I had that privilege? Yeah, let's say privilege. I had the privilege of being able to use 310 grams. But what does that mean is that I can have a matching pair of socks with my sweater, which I'm also very excited to start. I just haven't decided which I'm gonna go with. So that is the Eat Cake sweater that I've showed you pictures of and exalted and talked about, and now I really want cake, which I will be having because I will be baking a cake later today, and that will be super fun. I think. I don't know, this morning I tried making pancakes, and I have to say, I think these are the worst pancakes I have ever made in my life, and I started cooking when I was 12 years old. I was trying to make some cream cheese pancakes with guava sauce. The guava sauce was delicious. Cream cheese pancakes turned out very, like, rubbery. So I will have to tweak that. I'm excited I tried the recipe today and not tomorrow, because if I would have done this on the day of my birthday, I would have cried. I honestly would have. But that is my only finished object that I have to share with you. I do have a half-finished object to share with you that I realized I didn't bring. So I'm going to pause the camera anyway, because it's going to, after 20 minutes it pauses. So I'm going to pause it, go grab that, and come back. I'm back. I had to take a longer pause because somebody decided to cut the lawn, mow the lawn, whatever. So I have a half-finished object, and I'm calling it a half-finished object, even though it doesn't fit me. If you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, I'll insert the little video here if I didn't delete it, I posted a story about my sock making trauma with the open socks, and the open socks are a lovely sock pattern by Emma Potter from Potter and Bloom. They are part of her Hanging Rock Designs Volume 1, and I rescued the yarn from, I think it was the monkey socks. I didn't know where I had left off. I had no notes on the sock, so I just decided to frog it and make the open socks because I love the open sock pattern. It's a beautiful texture, and it's just, I love it. I made it for mom, and I want a pair for myself. So I just made a tube version because I was going to try and experiment with a crochet afterthought heel. I know, you might think it's blasphemous, but I am 100% of the opinion that crochet has its strong points and knitting has its strong points. And crochet heels are very strong. So I kind of wanted to insert it because this yarn feels very thin. It might be my tension, it might not. So I had made these way too long for tube socks because I could, when I tried them on, I had about 3 inches, I had knit 3 inches more than I actually needed to. So I frogged back those 3 inches and I picked up and I completed one more stitch repeat. And then I started my toe decreases. Did I try it on? No. I was so confident that I kept going and I completed my toe and I Kitchenered my toe. I tried it on. It doesn't fit anymore. It's too short. So, options. Rip back the toe again and pick up and continue. Longer leg. I don't really want to do that. So the other option is cut for the heel at the part I intended to cut and crochet the heel and hope that it's long enough. Yeah, I guess I really should just do the toe, but guys, it's finished. I don't want to do the toe. Oh, and the yarn is an Alice in Wonderland themed yarn, in case it wasn't obvious that this is depicting Alice's dress, her headband, her tights, her apron, her hair, because she was blonde in the movie version, but she was actually a brunette in the book version. Let me get a sock blocker. So yeah, I don't think doing tube socks are my thing because the first time I did a tube sock, I forgot to do knitting in the back part of the foot. This time I remembered, but I made it way too short. And you can see, this is where the heel is supposed to go. But plus sides, look at those toe decreases. So I'm just overall very upset. The other thing that I was thinking, that if, I don't remember where I read this, but they said that when you do afterthought heels and you have a patterned sock, that the first couple of stitches that you do after you pick up should be knit stitches, and then you should start your toe. And I think if I did that, I would have enough, there would be that little bit of extra length that I need to do the heel proper. I don't know, because I'm looking at it and the heel is supposed to be here. I don't know. I'll try it on my foot again and see actually where I should cut and what to do. Probably end up ripping it back, but not before I start the second one, because if I rip it back before I start the second sock, I will not finish it. So to knit that sock, I used circular needles, and then for the toe, I switched to magic loop. And I actually think I'm just gonna do magic loop all the way around for the second sock. I love using chiagu needles. These are my sock knitting needles preference, actually. Yeah, I love chiagu. I also like Knit Picks 4 square. I use those a lot too. So this is what's left of my little traumatized magic 8 ball of Alice in Wonderland yarn. It is by, my goodness, Moose and You yarns, and You as in E-W-E. Okay. So that is a half-finished object that was done a while ago, because honestly I haven't felt like picking up any of my projects at all. I actually haven't even done any crochet work. Yeah. I have, yeah. So the other thing that I have to share with you, I actually started because I wanted a birthday cast on. And I knew casting on socks was not gonna do it. I may still do it because I do have to finish those open socks. So I may still cast another sock on. But I wanted something crochet related. I wanted to make another pattern that I didn't have to think about, because all the math was done for me and all I had to do was pick my yarn, pick my hook, and move on with it. So I did. I picked another pattern from the Romantic Crochet book. I shared a, I like to think, pretty extensive book review on this in the previous podcast, and since then I've had a lot of lovely viewers and Instagram friends tell me that they also bought this book and that they also love it. So I am making this. I shared this on Instagram yesterday when I posted that I haven't really been feeling well emotionally and physically. So this is the Lacey Cocoon Shrug by Emma Escott, who's LuluLoves_UK, and this is just a lovely shrug with a beautiful stitch pattern. And the reason I picked it is because it's mindless. After you do the repeat, you kind of just get into a rhythm and you can just work at that rhythm. And it's been beautiful because not only am I working these repetitive kind of meditative stitches, I'm also being read an audiobook on Why We Make Things and Why It Matters by Peter Korn, if I'm not mistaken, and I cannot describe the absolute bliss that it's been just having that book read to me while making this shrug. So it's been one of the things that have been really keeping me going, and I have put it in one of my favorite bags of all time. This was a bag that I made for it was a be-along, I believe, and it was hosted by So Sweet Violet, and it just happened to coincide with the Hotel of Bees shawl cal that was hosted by Sandra of Cherry Heart and Sam of Betsy Makes. Oof. And I have so many good memories. That cowl was so fun. And not only that, but it was also a cowl that Mom and I did together. So we were both at home crocheting on this shawl, and we actually ended up exchanging shawls. I got the version she made and she got the version I made. So I love this bag, not just because the fabric is absolutely gorgeous. Those beehives are just beautiful. And then the inside is also nice cartoony bee fabric because bees actually scare me. So yeah, and what am I doing? I'm supposed to be sharing what I'm working on. So as I said, I'm working on that Lacey Shrug, and I've decided to work it with this yarn. This is Oh Baby Cotton by Lion Brand, or Baby Organic Cotton, sorry, by Lion Brand, in the color olive. And it truly is an olive color. It is so, so beautiful. So it's just like if you poured olive oil on a white bowl or clear bowl, and you're seeing the undertones of yellow and kind of like how bright bronzy the color looks. That's this olive color. It's perfection. I bought out my local Joann's store. I'm not joking, I did buy them out. They had 6 balls of this left over, so I bought all of them because the pattern calls for Hepiez Katona. It's a fingering weight mercerized cotton yarn. I'm pretty sure it has less yardage than this Lion Brand. This Lion Brand does feel a bit thinner, but I'm using it anyway, and I love it. It's working up so beautifully, and the color is so I love everything about this project. I love how repetitive it is. I love the yarn that I'm using. I didn't make any changes to the pattern. I had got engaged with a 4.25mm crochet hook, and if you're in the US, you will know this as a G hook by Boy, but I couldn't do it, guys. I couldn't crochet with a Boy hook. It was so uncomfortable. I think I've turned into a hook snob, for real. It was so uncomfortable, so I just went with the hook that she recommended in the pattern, which was the 4.5mm hook. So I'm using my trusty tulips. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of tulips and the Clover Amour. Those are my 2 favorite hook brands. I'm more of a fan of the tulips for the 4.5 and up, and I'm more of a fan of the Clover Amour for the 4mm and down. That is because I think tulip doesn't have enough rubber on their smaller hooks, and Clover does. So that's me. And this pattern, which I really wish I had more to educate you on for this pattern, but I don't. I'm loving the pattern. I love the yarn. It's not mercerized. This is just organic cotton. 50 grams, 180 yards. But I fully recommend it. I've had I posted a picture of it on Instagram, and I had people tell me that they had worked with the yarn and they loved it as well. I love it too. I don't know why they called it baby yarn, but they do sell it as a baby yarn. And honestly, I'm finding that with these commercial brands like Lion Brand and Bernat and whatever they sell as baby yarn, I tend to use it for my own garments, so. But that is all that I have to share with you this week. It's not a lot, but I hope that I kept you entertained, distracted. Maybe you learned something, I don't know. But I'm really hoping that you will join May and I. She's May Sonder on Instagram. I really hope you will join us for the Eat Cake Cal. I'm very excited to be hosting a Cal, and more excited, I'm excited. Excited is the theme of this podcast, but yes, I just wanted to share that with you. I hope you joined us for the Eat Cake Cal. And oh, before I go, that is all the yarny content as in projects that I've worked on this week. They haven't been a lot, but I did receive a lovely birthday gift in the mail, and it came at just the perfect time. I really needed that little pick-me-up, and it's from my friend Emma Potter, who is Potter and Bloom everywhere, and she sent this lovely hank of yarn from Pineapple Yarns. It's in her Lani sock base, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon fingering weight. The color is called Sea Prize. Guys, this green, I cannot get enough of that green. That green is everything, and I absolutely love it, and it gets brighter. And we also have some pinks here, and then some teals. These spots of green in the pink really remind me of the Polyjuice Potion yarn that I had from Lolo Did It, that I used to make a garment, which I'll be sharing later. But yeah, I'm just so happy that she did it, and I also went and had a look at Pineapple Yarns. I've heard Emma talk about her before, but I've never purchased yarn from her before, and it's so squishy. Like, look at that squish. It's beautiful. She has so many bright and happy colorways that I'm excited to work with this yarn. I might just have to look at it for a little bit before I do anything to it, but then I feel that's unfair. I should probably just cast on something. What do I cast on? Should I cast on like a hat or a beret? A beret in these colors. Oh yeah. So thank you, Emma. And so thank you, Emma, for that wonderful surprise. I really like it. And that is it for today's podcast. I don't really have much else to share other than what I mentioned about the book that it's an audiobook. It's Why We Make Things and Why It Matters. I am really, really enjoying the book. It can read a little bit as an autobiography of the author. He is a furniture maker, woodworker. So that was also interesting, just to see read how somebody's processes of being in this creative sphere, how you can relate to them, and that was beautiful. And it's also interesting hearing his theories on why we make things and why that matters. And his conclusion is that we make things for that transformative experience of who we're going to be once we finish this item, what's on the other side of us having finished the item. And I think that's also very interesting, and it has made me think a lot about why as I mentioned, why I started podcasting and why I started crocheting. And it's also, I think I need to write a mission statement for my crochet cakes business, because I want to know what I want to give, because I really want there to be a concrete sentence that explains what I do and why I do it. So I really recommend that book if you have a subscription to Audible, or can take advantage of the 30-day free trial and have that read to you, or if you find it and want to purchase it. I recommend the book. It's one of those books that you hear and it makes you think a lot about you and your experiences and why you make things. So I wanted to share that a little bit with you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna stop it here, go edit this podcast. And I don't think I'll do any crochet today, actually, because I'm gonna go bake a cake and, as I said, edit the podcast and get it all nice and uploaded, type up my show notes, give a last minute review to the PDF before I actually upload it to Etsy and have it all ready for you guys. So I'm excited about sharing this with you tomorrow, or today for you, and I hope you are too. So thank you for staying with me. If you like this video, then hit the thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's just craft the world a better place. Happy crafting, guys. Bye. Right. So, editing Clarissa here. I remembered that I had said I was going to do a giveaway for this 100th episode, and I forgot. So I'm back to tell you that yes, there will be a giveaway, and what you have to do to enter the giveaway is be a subscriber and comment happy birthday down below so that I can put those comments into the random picker random comment picker that you can find. And what you will win is a hank of Catherine's yarn. This is Catherine of Crafternoon Treats. It's her Silk Bellini colorway. It's a gorgeous dusty rose with speckles, and it truly is beautiful. It is in her superwash, 75% fine merino, 25% mulberry silk base, and also a revelry pattern of your choice for up to the value of $10 US.